Alright guys, we just understood how actually float works. Now let's see one more thing with the floats. So right now on our page we have two boxes. One is floated to the left and another is floated to the right side. Now let's have one more box below these two boxes. So for that purpose let's take div here, and inside this div let's write bigger box, and let's have one class also, say big box. Now save it and let's go to CSS file, and inside this we will target our big box here. So this time let's apply some height to this box. Width will be by default 100% because it is a block level element. So height, let's say 240 px, and let's have background color also, say maybe something like this. Now let's save our file and check out the result here. Alright, as we can see here that the third box which we have taken below these two boxes is in the gutter of left and right box. So what actually happening here? As we have already discussed that whenever we make any element float left or right, it goes out of the flow. Exactly what is happening here. This left and right box has gone out of the flow. Right now this is not on the normal flow. That means these two boxes has lost their original position, and as soon as element lost their original position, so upcoming element will try to cover that lost space. That's why we see that our third box, that is in blue, is below these floated boxes. But actually if you look at the content here, bigger box that has been retained inside the box, it is not going below this left box, because at the beginning only I discussed that the float was actually introduced to float any element and rest of the content will flow around it. So we will never see that the actual content like texts or images will go below the floated elements. So that's why this content is starting from here, and our blue box is actually starting from here. To check out that, so let's apply some margin to our left and right box. So let's say here margin, say 20 px here. Now save the file, check out the result here. As we can see, the blue box is actually starting from here and the content is coming from here. Actually we never want our elements should go out of the flow and disturb the upcoming elements, and at the same time we never want our element should come at the below or one at the top. And if we want some elements should be at the top, some should be below it, for that purpose we have something else. But here in the float cases, this is actually the pitfall of floats. So we need to get our page in the normal flow. So for that purpose we actually clear and contain the floats so that our element always come in the normal flow and it should not disturb another elements. So let's understand what is clearing and containing the floats. First we will go with the clearing floats, then we will look into the containing floats. So to clearing floats, there is a property in CSS that is known as clear property, which is used to clear floats. It accepts three different values. One is left, another is right, and last we have both. Left will clear the float from left, right from the right side, and both will clear the float from both the side. And this is one of the safest way to clear the floats. Alright, let's clear our float from this upcoming element. So we will target big box here and we will clear the floats. If we are floating left, then we can say left, save the file, check out the result. So we got our box in the normal flow. We can also say right. This will also work fine because this time we are floating left as well as right. So both the left as well as right values are working normally. So to be on the safe side, we can use both here. Save the file and again check out the result. No changes. This is how we get back into the normal flow of the page. And it is important to note here, whenever we float elements, we will always clear the float from the upcoming elements, as we have cleared the big box and we floated the first and second box here. Alright, clearing floats is one of the way to get our page into the normal flow. But with the clearing floats, there are few more issues that we haven't seen. So to check out that issues, let's wrap this floated element inside a section here, and then to the section let's apply some background, say this time maybe black would work fine. So now save the file and check out our result here. As we can see here, the section element is wrapping left and right box, but it is not getting any background color that we have applied here on the section. So what's the actual issue? So let's check out. If we inspect our page here, and then inside the body we have section, and this is our section, and inside this section we have left box and right box. But when we hover over this section element, on the left top corner we will find that this element has no height, and we can also check out here also. So for the section element, this section is having no height, but it should have some height because inside the section we have two boxes. So according to the box size, the section element would have got some height, but it is not getting, and that's why we do not see that background color black which we have applied in the CSS. So again here we have same issue because our left and right box is floated. So that's why these two elements are out of the flow, and when it goes out of the flow it loses its original position. That's why the section element is showing height 0. Although we cleared the float from the upcoming elements, but still we didn't get our parent into the normal float. So instead of clearing the floats, we use containing the floats. What containing floats will do, that it will get each and everything into the normal flow. It will get the upcoming element into the normal flow, as well as the parent element will also get its height according to the children it is wrapping, which is floated. So for containing floats, there are different approaches. Actually there are three approaches. One is placing an empty div with the clear both styles, another is overflow technique, and third is Clearfix technique. So let's understand empty div technique first. So in the empty div approaches, what actually we do, we wrap the floated elements inside a parent that we have already here, that is section. Then just after the floated elements, we will take one empty div which will have no content. So we can have a class here empty, and from this empty div we will clear the float. So let's go and target our empty div inside the CSS with empty class, and let's say clear both. So now we can get rid of this clear both from the big box. Now save the file and check out the result here. Alright, now we got each and everything into the normal flow. Now our section element, which is the parent of left and right box, has got some height, as we can see here, that is 236 px, and it also got background color black. Empty div is one of the approach to contain the floats, but this approach is not considered as semantically correct, because on a page we can have several floated elements at numeral places. So we will have to place empty div as many times as we have used float on a page, which is contextually not correct. So that's why we have other approaches also. So next we have overflow technique. The overflow technique uses overflow property. So first of all, let's understand what overflow property does. The overflow property comes in handy whenever the content inside a container is overflowing out of the box. For example, let's have one container here, say div, and inside this let's have one paragraph. We'll have some dummy text, lorem ipsum, that would work fine. Then to the div let's apply class maybe parent. Let's target here in CSS parent. To the parent let's apply some width, maybe 200 px, as well as height also 200 px. Then some background, say this time, yeah. Now save the file and check out the result here. Alright, let's apply some color to the text also. So color can be black. Save it. Now check out the result here. Alright, now we can see that these texts are overflowing this parent container, because the parent container is not able to contain large number of text inside it. So that's why overflow property comes in handy. So overflow property accepts few different values. For example, the first value overflow is visible. This is the default value. So if you check out the result, you will find no changes. There is no changes here. So another value we have overflow auto. So what auto will does, let's check out the result here. What auto value for the overflow property does, it provides some scroll bar to see the rest of the content inside the box, so that the text should not overflow outside the box. Next we have scroll. So scroll value also do the same thing, but there is a difference between auto value as well as scroll value. So what auto value will do, it will only show the scroll bar when the element is overflowing. But in the case of a scroll, there will be always a scroll bar. Let's check out that. So for example, let's get back to auto. So now we can see there is scroll bar here that we have already seen. Now if I reduce the text here, say we have just 2 words, save the file, check out the result here. Now the scroll bar is gone here. But if we apply here overflow scroll, whether we have extra content overflowing or not, the scroll value will always show a scroll bar. As we can see, there is a scroll bar here, but it is not functionable because we don't have any extra content here. And last we have hidden value. So what hidden does, whatever the extra content we have which is overflowing the container or box, that text will be hidden. We will not be able to see that content. So right now we just have 2 words. If we have extra words here, let's say save it and check out the result here. We can see we cannot scroll, so we cannot see extra content which is overflowing the box. Alright, by using the overflow property, we can contain our floats also. So let's get rid of this box and content and then experiment our containing floats with the float property. So let's get rid of this now, and we will get this empty div also out. Then we do not want any parent anything here, and also we do not want this clear both. So everything, let's get back to normal. So we have everything in the normal place. The float is floating, as well as our third box is below this floated element. So now to get back into normal, we will use overflow technique. So let's go ahead to the parent. So here we have section as a parent, and to the parent we will apply overflow either auto. Let's save the file, check out the result. Fine. Again we got back our normal flow using overflow method. There are other values also for the overflow property which we can use to contain the floats. So for that purpose, let's apply another value, that is hidden. This will also works fine. So no changes. The overflow method also comes with a few drawbacks. In any cases, for the Internet Explorer, we will have to apply fixed height for the parent element if the element is floated inside it. And also, if we use overflow auto, it may add a scroll bar to the element in the Internet Explorer, also on an Apple computer. So instead of auto value, we use overflow hidden. But the problem with the hidden value is that few styles like box shadow may cut off outside the parent. It's just that different browsers treat overflow property differently. At the end, we have Clearfix technique to contain the floats. The Clearfix technique is considered as one of the most effective ways to contain floats. The Clearfix technique is more preferable and has advantages over the other techniques. So in the Clearfix technique, there are some set of rules defined in CSS which looks something like this. Okay, let's first experiment this code in our CSS file, and then we will understand what exactly it is doing. So let's go to our code editor. Then what exactly we will do for the Clearfix technique, we will wrap the floated element inside a parent that we are already having, and inside this let's apply one class, say Clearfix. Then using Clearfix class we will target this parent here. So very first thing what we will do, we will get rid of this overflow hidden technique. So what we'll see here, everything is again went back to the normal. So for the Clearfix, let's apply all those rules that we have seen now. So target Clearfix class here, say before comma Clearfix after, then inside let's say content empty, and then display table, and then Clearfix after, we'll say clear both. Now save the file and check out the result here. Great, we got our page again back into the normal flow. This time we have used Clearfix technique. So now let's understand what is actually happening here. Let's understand what each piece of code doing. Alright, this is we have before and after. These are the pseudo elements. We will learn about the pseudo elements later on, but let's understand this code first. We know that by default we get content on our page using HTML document. But sometimes if we want some content after the element or before the element, so we can make use of CSS using before or after pseudo elements, we can get some content. For example, right now our content is empty. So let's have something here, maybe content. Now save the file. Let's see where it is coming. As we can see that right now before the section element and after the section element, we have content text that we have taken using before and after pseudo elements. And so next we have display table for the pseudo elements. So what display table does here? Actually, we need a block level element so that it should start from left to the right side of the container. If we take here display block also, it will work fine. You won't find any changes, no changes. But instead of block, we have taken table. This is to ensure the consistency for the older version of Internet Explorer, because the older version of browser does not understand display block or inline block. So that's why we have taken table. And at the end we have taken Clearfix after, and from the Clearfix after we clear both. So this clear both, what it will does, it will clear the float from here only. It will not let the floating effect go outside this line. This method is known as Clearfix method. This method is known as Clearfix method. Although we could have taken any class here and style it inside the CSS, but we have taken Clearfix class. It's just because the Clearfix class is more popular and used for containing purposes. And due to name of the class, that is Clearfix, we call this a Clearfix method. There is no such concept that why it is known as Clearfix method. It's just because the class name. And at the same time, this class is more modular. We can define one Clearfix rule inside the CSS and we can use it again and again on any parents where the children is floated. Alright guys, this is all about clearing and containing the floats with different approaches.